I learned after many years of working hard and having the right mentors how to become a net worth millionaire, but I didn't have a self-worth millionaire inside of me. And it made me realize, I worked so hard to make this money and it didn't solve my happiness problems. You don't live a rich life being a victim. You don't feel empowered disempowering yourself.
What is something that you bought lately that was a waste of money?
I'm gonna say something that you're probably not gonna like.
Uh-oh. Hey guys, I'm here in the car, which means it's time for another installment of Millionaires in Cars Getting Coffee. And who is my guest today? Well, you probably saw it on the title and thumbnail, but it's Lewis House. He's amazing. He's turned his passion into profit. He's built multiple thriving businesses, and he's here to talk to us today about mindset, wealth, and his own money journey. And he's the new author of this book right here, Make Money Easy. You're going to love this conversation. So before we get to it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment below with your guess as to how much taller Lewis is than me. Lewis, get in here. How you doing?
I just broke
I need to warm you up, dude.
I broke it.
Are you going to be okay?
Yeah, I feel good.
It's 40 degrees outside.
Freezing.
This is a madman out here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I got the seat as far back as it can go.
No, it goes back a little farther, right? Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
That's that 6'4" life.
I've never had to do that.
6'4",
I can't even reach the floorboard.
So good to be here, man. You know what?
I'm pumped. So last time we saw each other was December of 2023.
Was it?
I was on your show, and I had a great time.
Crushed it.
I love to see the reaction from the audience going, this guy, this debt-free stuff, he's on to something.
Smart guy over here, you know?
He's on to something.
You got to listen to him more often.
And now, I don't know if I inspired you, but look at this. Make money easy.
Let's go.
Out right now. We're going to get into that.
Let's go.
But first, intro of your book. You talk about how you were a thief.
Thief of the night.
Like, I wouldn't pick you out of a lineup. You look like you never cussed in your life. What was going on here? This was your teenage years?
Oh, man, my teenage years. I was stealing a lot. And it was probably because I didn't feel accepted. I didn't feel like I had any friends. My parents were fighting a lot and kind of going through their own challenges through married life. I felt alone. So I felt very alone, and I felt like I needed attention.
So you were acting out.
I was acting out, but I was acting out a lot.
Like you almost wanted to get caught.
I didn't want to get caught because I wanted to feel powerful. And I felt like stealing, I was like, ooh, I got away with something. It was like candy bars and whatever at the store.
You weren't stealing like big screen TVs.
No, I wasn't like robbing banks, but I was definitely out of integrity, and I was hurting people and I was hurting myself by stealing things. And it wasn't creating good energy inside of me. It was creating a different kind of negative, powerful energy, not a empowering energy within me.
So what, like you were talking about your parents fighting, what were you taught about money growing up? What do you remember?
My parents didn't have a lot of money. They worked really hard. They had to spend a lot of the legal fees, and then just the sadness of it all.
You felt like a weight around money.
Yeah, it was a weight, and it was emotional sadness. It felt scarce. It felt not enough. That mixture of money and scarcity and the energy behind it, I associated that with money in my life. And so it was very confusing to me. I felt anxious around it. I didn't feel like I was deserving of it. And it scared me.
Yeah.
That was my experience of it. It was more of an energy and more of a feeling.
So you talk about in your book, finding your money mentor. Now, obviously for me, Dave Ramsey is my money mentor.
Great mentor.
How do you find those money mentors, and who are some of them in your life?
My dad got into a car accident actually when I was in college, and he had eventually, after 30 years of working really hard in the insurance business, started to make some money as I became an older teenager. So he was starting to teach me a few things, but then he got in this accident and he had a brain trauma and he wasn't able to really communicate to me anymore. He was alive, but it was like he was emotionally gone. And so I had to start reaching out to local mentors. I used LinkedIn to find kind of local executives. I started emailing people. I started going to Toastmasters, which is a public speaking class. And I just started putting myself out there and asking people questions. And for whatever reason, whether they thought I was just like a young kid who was troubled or sad because my dad went through this accident, people wanted to give me some advice. And I just said, I'm going to become a student to learn about how to get a job, how to make money, how to navigate this stuff. And these kind of mentors early on through LinkedIn started giving me some coaching and some tips. And I just said, I'm going to absorb it and start going all in on it.
Actually listen to their advice.
Yeah, I'm going to do what they say. I'm going to follow through. I'm going to be an athlete of life. Because I was in debt, college debt. I had multiple credit cards. And I was living on my sister's couch in my mid-20s. and I didn't have any direction or purpose of what to do with my life. So I felt emotionally bankrupt and financially bankrupt.
That's a bad combo.
And that's not a good place to be in.
Yeah. Well, you're in this car because you are now a net worth millionaire. So congratulations on climbing out of that, building wealth, and in the meantime, helping a lot of people, which is the best way to do it, in my opinion.
And here's the thing, though. I learned after many years of working hard and having the right mentors how to become a net worth millionaire, but then I didn't have a self-worth millionaire inside of me.
Oh,
and there's a difference.
There's
a difference between being a net worth millionaire and a self-worth millionaire.
To not be miserable.
I was both financially and emotionally bankrupt living on my sister's couch. And that's when I started finding mentors and trying these things. And I started to build momentum through mentorship and through creating a money map, creating a money guide, and also overcoming my emotional fears. So I started public speaking, like I mentioned, and started developing skill sets. And after about 6 months of overcoming the fears, I started to feel more emotionally alive. I started to feel more emotionally like my self-worth was increasing. My capacity to give and receive was increasing. And so I felt like emotionally I was building, but still financially I was broke. From then, for another 4 to 5 years, I started to make money and build a business. And within a few years, I was a net worth millionaire, but something switched. The energy inside of me turned into scarcity. I was like, I don't want to lose this money.
Oh, once you had it, now you were scared.
And
that was the scarce Lewis still in there from his childhood?
100%. It was scarce. So I went back to feeling afraid. I went back to feeling like, people are reaching out to me now and they want something from me. They want me to give them money. They want me to loan them money.
Well, Mr. Successful over here.
Yeah, they're not paying me back. Now I feel taken advantage of and abused and abandoned, and all these kind of emotions started coming out where it made me want to hoard my money and guard it. And that was a scary place to be in. Financially secure and emotionally bankrupt. And it made me realize, I worked so hard to make this money and it didn't solve my happiness problems.
Because you were told your whole life, well, man, the people with money, they got no problem.
Well, you'll have more power, you'll have more success, you'll have more acknowledgement, people will accept you. But I didn't learn how to accept myself. And I also didn't feel like the people in my life, were they really accepting me? Or is it because I had money?
You couldn't tell.
Me? So I was just confused now. And I think the whole goal for me, George, is figuring out how to become financially peaceful and emotionally, spiritually peaceful, and creating harmony and alignment with the two ideas.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's been the journey, and it doesn't mean I've figured it out. Part of the reason I wrote this book was to
helping you figure that out.
Help me figure it by interviewing experts. I had you on my show, I've had Dave on my show, lots of different people who figured out how do you live a rich life, a wealthy life internally, and have peace with your money. You guys talk about financial peace all the time.
Yeah.
And I think financial peace is the relationship you have with it emotionally, as well as the material relationship you have with it, how you're budgeting, how you're saving, how you're investing, like the tactical side, but also the spiritual side. And that's been the journey for me.
Yeah, well, most people make money the goal instead of realizing it's just a tool. And that's a tough shift to make. Easy to say, fun to tweet, hard to actually live that
tweet.
out.
Another great tweet and hard way to live is money doesn't heal you, it reveals you. So it's not going to heal all your problems from your past. It's going to reveal more of what that past pain is or was. Or if you don't have that past pain, it's going to reveal more.
So if you have that scarcity and you're a jerk, you're just going to have a bunch of money and
be a bigger
scarcity mindset and be a jerk.
And if you're a joyful, loving, peaceful person, you're going to become more generous, more peaceful, more loving with that money. And that's what I've learned.
All right, let's take a quick pit stop to tell you about Laurel Road, a sponsor of today's episode. If you've got your savings stashed away somewhere making 0.01% in some brick and mortar bank that you've had for 10 years, it's time to do better. You need to switch over to a high yield savings account like the one offered by Laurel Road. They've got competitive interest rates, and here's the best part. It checks off all my boxes for a great savings account. Number one, your deposits are FDIC insured, meaning your money is safe and secure. Number two, there's no monthly maintenance fees. And number three, there's no minimum balance required to open an account. So get started today. Go check them out at laurelroad.com/George or click the link in the description below. All right, let's get back to the conversation. Well, hey, this is Millionaires in Cars Getting Coffee. So we do have to get coffee legally.
I'm in.
Contractually. What is your normal coffee order? Left to your own devices.
Well, I guess it depends where we're going.
We're going to take you to a local spot today.
Okay, cool.
And because I see you as an honest guy, I'm going to take you to Honest Coffee Roasters.
Ooh, I like it. I usually like a vanilla latte with almond milk.
So if you ever have the opportunity to buy Lewis coffee, remember, vanilla almond milk latte. Are you a big caffeine guy?
I have a cup a day,
Keeps the doctor away. Well, you've been on this book tour. Are you exhausted?
I know. I'm in.
Because I remember
I'm
you're just like running off adrenaline and prayers at some point.
I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful to be able to serve. And I think this is something that you do well and something that Dave instills in the culture, I think, at the Ramsey and Co. really well about living with integrity, living your values to be of service, and how do we show up and serve every day. And I'm trying to do the best I can with the tools that I've learned, and I know that's something you're doing as well.
Yeah, well, one of our core principles at Ramsey is if you help enough people, you don't have to worry about money. We call 100%. That marketplace service.
Yes.
And so you do a good job helping people solve problems, they give you certificates of appreciation with presidents' faces on them.
Yeah, money, exactly.
Exactly. So that's Dave's take, and I love that mindset, because then you go, oh, wait. Money's not evil. If I make money, someone didn't have to lose money.
Right.
Too many people go, well, if Lewis is wealthy, he must have done it off the backs of... That's not the case.
True.
Who have you hurt in the making of your success?
No one.
That's the way to do it.
And as long as we're living in accordance with those values, if I'm going to make a product that I believe in, that I truly believe is helpful, which Dave's talked about a lot too, and I'm going to do the best I can to deliver that in a service of high quality, high value. And if it's really helping someone, then it's a great exchange.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about faith as an element of this. You mentioned spirituality. I see you have the necklace here, the cross. What is that for you? How does that connect to the money?
I think about how can I be more at peace with whatever money I have. And before, I used to think I need more money to feel secure. And so let me just keep making it. But I wasn't feeling more secure. I was feeling more stressed and anxious about it, kind of in my 30s. And it wasn't until maybe 4 years ago, and even the last couple of years, when I was really diving into this journey around money with me, my business went down one year.
Oh.
And it shook me kind of emotionally.
Yeah.
For every year since I started, 15 years ago, we got the coffee delivered. The ice gods are here, here we go.
What is this?
It's the same for both of us? Or?
Yeah. Okay. Not at all what either of us ordered. I'd like to speak to the manager.
No, it's okay. Cheers to you.
That's fine.
Cheers to you.
We don't complain.
No.
We take what we are given. So yeah, continue.
So for me, I was feeling... Life wasn't bad. It was like I was living a good life. But I was like, why don't I feel 100% like peaceful around the money I'm making when it's going up in my bank account per se, and when it went down. And when it went down, it kind of like freaked me out. And I was like, something's wrong with me and something's wrong with my team or something. It's like, where are all the problems at? And it was hard for me to navigate it. And it was like I was trying to grasp air. It's like, how do I stop this from happening? And I realized like, okay, there was some type of wound or something that was off inside of me that needed healing. I didn't feel whole. And I realized I was not connected to God as much as I wanted to be. And I was trying to control my life as opposed to be a steward of my life and just do the best I can every day. And when I said, listen, I'm here to be of service at the highest level. If that means my bank account and my business grows, great. If that means for whatever reason it goes down for a season of life, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
I'm also going to be okay because I have been saving and investing well for the last 12 years or something. So I know I have financial security. So what I really need is faith and spiritual security within me, knowing that I'm not just going to say everything's going to be okay, I'm just going to do whatever I want. I'm going to assess, I'm going to change things, I'm going to have courage and step up with my leadership skills. But at the end of the day, as long as I keep showing up and adding value, as long as I keep listening and taking care of myself, keep investing in others, good is going to happen.
I love that mentality.
So that's been the journey for me.
We have a quote around this that Dave likes to say, work like it all depends on you, pray like it all depends on God.
That's amazing.
And I think it's a both and.
It is.
And I think
it's a partnership, right?
Yeah, and the spiritual element is it's not as cool to talk about, and it's not a woo-woo if you believe in God, you're going to have more money. It has nothing to do with
There's
that.
a lot of poor people who believe in God and pray all day long.
Yep, and a lot of rich people who don't.
Exactly.
So I don't see the correlation.
Exactly.
But I do think there's a richness to that life when
Yes.
there's an underpinning to it
Yes.
that isn't just chasing after more
100%.
with no real reason.
And one of the keys that I've learned in creating a rich life, internally and externally, is that gratitude and generosity, they are the gateway to abundance, or to living a richer life, to living a more abundant life.
Yeah.
And when you have no money or you're in debt, you can't think, I'm going to give money because I can't do it. But what you can do, and you don't have to give money to be generous, what you can do is you can give time, you can give attention, you can be present with someone when you're looking at them. You can be generous with resources and say, I have a knowledge, I have a wisdom, and I can connect you with my friends to help you thrive. And if we can start being in that state of how can I be a giver and how can I be grateful with every single day where I'm at, while also trying to improve to become better, that is the pathway to abundance and peace.
I love that mentality. And I do think, like we talked about earlier, if you have a scarcity mindset, you're a jerk, you're just going to become a rich jerk. But you have a generous spirit and then you get some money, oh my goodness, you can change your community, change your family tree.
Change the world, man.
I love that mentality.
Change the world, change your world, and then change the world, you know?
Yeah, well, one comes before the other.
That's it.
Again, you got to move from a place of strength, and it's just hard to do that.
And it's hard to do that from a victim mindset. You don't live a rich life being a victim. You don't feel empowered disempowering yourself and saying everyone else is hurting me. I've gotten to a place of financial security in my life. And so I figured out money to an extent, but I didn't figure out how to manage my relationship with money. Once it started breaking through levels of money that I never thought I would make. And I'll ask you this, George. This is a question I asked Rachel earlier today. If money was a person, George, imagine money is a person.
Okay.
And then money comes in the car and is sitting here right next to you. Imagine, what would your current relationship be with money if it was a person? Would you be excited? Would you be nervous? Would you be scared? Would you be like, this is a good friend? Would you be like, I like him, but sometimes, what would your relationship be like?
That's a great question. I think there would be a lot of peace, but also a lot of still a hunger for like, what else? Give me a new challenge, a new thing to do. And so money to me, there always has been a game to it. Like, I want to see the spreadsheet, I want to hit the goal. And so when I got financial peace and, we paid off our house, what I found was like, I always needed another thing. I had to learn just to be content. And I'm still trying to find that to this day.
Interesting.
How do I just go, hey, you're doing great, bud. Just slow, just
That's
relax.
Interesting.
And it's hard for me to relax as an anxious person.
Okay.
So I think there's a lot of anxiety, not because I'm a scarcity, but just because I always need something happening.
Yes.
Instead of just going, no, you're good.
This is interesting. Now I'm going to reflect back.
Are you going to psychoanalyze me now?
Yeah, I'm going to profile you right now. Now I'm going to reflect back what I heard you say, based on my interpretation, is that you feel like you have financial peace. You feel like you've figured it out and you've gamified it and you've gotten it to a certain level, but you still have some anxiety around it because you think it's a game that you have to keep maximizing.
Yeah. All I've done is play the game for a decade, and now it's like, okay, what's next? And they're like, wait, there doesn't have to be. That's what I need to tell myself.
Let me ask you this then. If you take the idea of money as a person, you swap it for a person in your life.
Yeah.
And you had a relationship where you played the game with them to accomplish something with them or get something from them to hit certain goals, and you had anxiety around them in certain ways, how would that relationship be with that person?
Probably transactional.
It'd be more transactional. It'd be less about, hey, let's just be friends to be friends. And if there's a season of life where you can help me in something, great. And I can help you in return in something, and or we're just cheerleaders. It would be
the friend where like we're gonna go work out and play pickleball. Like someone they gotta have action happening. And we gotta compete. And I'm like, can we just not? Can we just hang out?
Which is not a right or wrong, good or bad conversation. It's not like saying, oh, you need to change something right now. It's just, I want people to reflect and ask themselves, how is my relationship with money?
Yeah.
Is it supporting me and feeling more peaceful? Or do I have more anxiety, stress, or anxiousness around it? And if so, how can I improve that relationship? And that's what this message the book is all about.
Oh, I'm pumped for everyone to check the book out. Let's get into some tactical money things. What is something that you bought lately that was a waste of money? Could have been a cup of coffee, could have been a sauna, whatever it is for you. Something you're like,
I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something that you're probably not going to like. Because I've really...
Just be honest. You're Mr. Vulnerability.
I know, I am on it. I will be honest.
Here we go.
I will be honest. I am trying to spend without feeling any guilt
or
regrets. I'm buying things that I would never buy before, George.
Okay. Can you give us an example?
Here's one example. I bought this ring for myself. I just got married.
Yes, Mr. Newlywed.
So I joined the club.
Congratulations.
So I bought this ring for myself. And originally, George, there's two things on me right now. This watch that I did not buy and this ring that I did buy for my wedding, right? I bought two rings. One is a very the most humblest of just bands, right? Just like a silver, humble band. Yeah. Nothing. Let me be as modest and humble as possible. This one is bling.
Yeah, I can see.
I think it's 80 something black diamonds.
Oh,
it's white gold. It's the whole thing, right? It's it's a vibe. And this is completely off of what I've kind of done my whole life. But I said, I'm going to invest in something to continue to show how much I appreciate myself and appreciate my own value. And I'm worthy of having something of high quality. It doesn't need to be it can still be simple and modest or whatever. But I was I'm going to have something of high quality value that's sturdy, that's strong, that lasts. And that is something I can look at and remind me that I can be uncomfortable still with spending and I'm going to be safe.
What's your vice? I know you guys have been eating some desserts on the road.
Dang, man.
What is your one thing that if I laid it in front of you, no matter how, you're just I got to have it. Even if it was Lent and you're I gave it up, man. If it was in front of you, you'd do it.
Gosh, I'm trying to think. I mean, I can have pretty much any type of sugar, desserts, donuts, cakes. I'm
ice cream.
What's your... Jenny's ice cream. I'm from Columbus, Ohio.
Oh my goodness, I love Jenny's. This is why I like Lewis. He gets it.
I saw it in your guys' freezer at the Ramsey headquarters.
You give me some gooey butter.
Oh my gosh, the brown butter brittle or whatever it's called.
Brown butter almond brittle and the birthday cake flavor also. How much money would someone have to pay you to never eat ice cream again? Give me an exact number.
There's no amount of money.
10 million, you wouldn't do it?
Nah, probably not.
What?
Because I want to enjoy life a little bit here and there. And it's not about the money. What's that going to do for me? If I'm restricting myself...
You could start an ice cream franchise.
And then never eat it.
But never get to eat it.
Never eat it.
What a cruel...
I don't know. It's not about the money. I think I probably would have said a number in the past. And here's the thing. If I'm restricting myself from doing something once a week or once a month to enjoy and appreciate life and try something, I just don't think that's worth it. Again, I'm blocking an energy I wanted to do something. And again, I need to create self-boundaries so I'm not eating sugar every day, because then I will not have a rich, abundant life. I'll have an unhealthy life.
Where you have this addiction, this vice that's
exactly.
You.
That's not healthy either. It's taking control and responsibility and saying, okay, I'm on a book tour right now. I'm going to have a little bit of dessert in each city. And it's okay. And I know I'm on a routine most of my life, 80-90% of the time. I'm healthy. I eat well, I sleep well, I move my body. And so I just wouldn't want that restriction.
Okay, fine. Don't even tempt him.
Don't tempt
But I can be tempted. Venmo me 10 million.
Would you give up ice cream for $10 million?
Yeah, I can say, because here's the thing.
What about sugar?
Oh, but
that means you
couldn't
have this coffee.
No, sugar is in everything.
Well,
I think
what's your number?
That's an impossibility.
No, it's not. You could have for $100 million, you could have a chef every day cook you perfect food for the rest of your life. $10 million, you could do that. So there is no number for giving up sugar, is there?
Dang.
Because you want to enjoy life.
Well, I'd be so stressed out trying to avoid it.
No, that's not financial.
I'm at a
financial
restaurant.
Peace. Financial peace does not equal emotional peace.
You caught me. You cornered me on that one. Also, I got a bone to pick with you because you're so positive. And I even asked your team, I said, okay, but is Lewis...
Come on, he's a jerk,
is he getting in a rage? I want to see this guy angry. What grinds his gears? What pushes his buttons?
Well...
And he was like, I've known the guy since, 15 years now. I've never seen him angry. So what grinds
that's not
your
true.
gears?
Michael Gavin's seen me probably angry at it.
I'm sure you've been frustrated.
I have been angry. I mean, I've screamed on stage.
But what is the petty thing that just pushes your buttons?
The wound that was in me for a long time was people taking advantage of me. So I used to feel frustrated when I would invest in someone and feel like they were taking advantage of me, my kindness and my generosity, because I do want to be a giver.
Yep.
And I felt if they were taking advantage or abusing it in some way, that would trigger me and get me very frustrated. And I would be passive aggressive. I would all those different things. And I've had to learn really over the last 4 years of how to just create better boundaries in my life and not let it bother me either way, or just let it bother me a lot less and move on.
You just seem unbothered. And I'm jealous of that as a guy who, I'm persnickety.
Are you?
Neurotic even.
Yeah, but you don't like explode. Where I used to be angry.
And you had explosive anger.
I would explode and scream at people and fight.
I don't have that. It's more of a Seinfeldian complaining.
Yeah. No, cool. That's much cooler.
Which I enjoy. I like to that's how I spar.
That's a much healthier life because I used to get in fist fights.
No, I don't do that.
You trigger me, I'd be like, we're fighting now. Step to me. I used to be that way. So I've had to really
stay on your good side.
I've had to really learn to let go of that energy because that's not a rich, abundant life.
Definitely not.
Triggered and reacting and all these different
controlled
things.
by your emotions. That's no way
That's how it was.
Wow. Well, I got to talk about your marriage. How long have you been married now?
It's 2 months now.
Okay. And it's rare that someone who's already very successful marries someone way more successful.
She's the breadwinner.
What's like living in her shadow? Tell us about her.
She's a student of life, and she's a student of money, and she started going to freaking workshops about money 20 years ago. She started making movies. She was like, I want to learn how to invest this and manage it. So she's done an amazing job.
That's incredible.
And she inspires me with her money mindset. And so I feel blessed, I feel grateful, and I truly feel like all the hard work of being of service the last 10, 15 years in my business and show, I feel like God said, okay, you deserve to be rewarded because you've been of service to try to help people.
So that's catapulted your relationship because it was two healthy people coming together.
Yes, and I had to do a lot of the work for years before I met her to kind of heal and create a sense of wholeness within me in order to attract her. I tell her all the time, like, if I'd have met you 10 years ago, I would not have been ready, and I would have not have seen you the way I see you now.
Yeah.
So I had to, because she's like, I wish we would have met 10 years ago. We would have had so much more fun. I go,
like, you get more life together.
I wouldn't have been ready. I would have blown it. I would have sabotaged it. I would have been like, I needed a lot of growth.
How are you guys different when it comes to money? Like, what's the particular thing that you found out as you've been married now? Like, oh man, she likes to spend on this, and I think that's crazy.
We had so many conversations around money before getting married because I wanted to make sure I could feel emotionally safe with someone who had money already and not feel like I was jumping into something where someone just wanted me for money. And I knew she didn't, but I had to go through those kind of wounds and those challenges and make sure. So we went through workshops together. We went through Catholic counseling around marriage and money together.
Oh, wow.
We've read books about marriage and money, and we've really tried to educate ourselves and have as many open conversations as possible around money so that we feel that's not something we're going to argue about. And so we're still figuring out our kind of game plan and processing of how are we going to invest together now that we are married? How are we going to do these things together?
There's unity there.
And we feel emotionally aligned and spiritually aligned, but it's now logistically getting aligned. And do you guys have a good book about that? We can dive in deeper.
I'm sure we have several.
What do you guys have? What do you recommend?
For a money and marriage book, I think they're working on that right now.
That's great.
A lot of the books touch on that. They hint at that. We go into it, but not a specific. So that one's coming up.
Yeah.
Last thing for you before we have to wrap. There's a $2 bill sitting in this book as a bookmark.
Yes.
And it's a part of the book.
Yeah.
What's the deal with this $2 bill? And every book does not come with a $2 bill. I want to make that very clear. Mine's special.
Yours does. Yes. Even though there was some stress and anxiety from my parents' relationship and them around money as well, it doesn't mean it was all stressful. And my dad was a very generous guy, and he was a local life insurance salesman. He would read the paper every day, take out newspaper clippings of people in the town, write a note and send them the clipping and acknowledge people. He was very generous with his time and his words, and he would always tip in $2 bills. Every time we went to a restaurant as a family, every time we were at a hotel or something or whatever it was, he would pull out a $2 bill and tip the waiter or the service person with the $2 bill. And I kid you not, I cannot think of one time where this didn't happen, where someone got the $2 bill and they lit up. They had a big smile. It was a conversation. Wow, I haven't seen these things in forever. This is so unique. And oh my gosh, thank you so much for this $2 bill. He could have given people $2 single. the same amount of value, but he gave a $2 bill because it was a unique experience.
It was a little surprise and delight.
And it lit up people's life, and they would go home and talk about it. And I look at that as a generous act. He was expressing his generosity in the way that he
creative.
did. And he made these moments of wonder and awe and uniqueness everywhere he went of generosity. And so for me, it's a reminder that living in gratitude is going to fill you up. Living in generosity is going to fill someone else up. Find your unique way to do that and be of service to people around you, and you're going to live a rich and abundant life. Whether you're George and you're got the Seinfeld, snarky comments, and you make someone laugh because of how you're telling a joke, that's generosity. That's easing a moment of tension. Whether you're me and I give people a big bear hug because I'm a big guy and I just want to hug people, that's my way of being generous. So gratitude and generosity, those are the gateway to abundance. And this has been an amazing car ride. I'm surprised.
What a perfect way to end.
I'm surprised you're able to navigate freaking reading a teleprompter.
There's a lot going on.
Holding a book, drinking coffee.
I got precious cargo, so I was really taking it easy on. Usually we hit 90 on the interstate. But man, this has been so fun.
All within a 24-year-old car.
I love it.
It's amazing.
Dude, I'm so honored to have you, honored to know you and to be a friend, and happy to support this amazing book.
I appreciate you, brother.
Go check it out. Make money easy. That's what he does. That's what he's all about.
Because most people make it hard.
Don't make it hard. That's the last thing we need.
Make it easy.
And last thing I want to say, you are a guy who leaves people and places better than you found it. And for that, I'm very grateful.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you. Lewis Howes, go check it out. We'll drop a link to the book in the description. He's the best.
Appreciate it.
Cheers, man.
Cheers to you. Boom.
Huge thanks to Lewis for joining me today. Hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. If you did, be sure to check out his book, Make Money Easy. It's available now, and I'll drop a link in the description below. And if you enjoyed this conversation about wealth, you're going to love Millionaires in Cars Getting Coffee with Cody Sanchez. It's coming up next, or click the link in the description. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.